For a game that was long in development as a cooperative horde-based shooter, the conspicuous and relatively quick addition of Battle Royale in Fortnite seemed to be a mode tacked on to capitalize on a trend. However, its simple building system and loose shooting mechanics not only set it apart from other games built on the same premise, but work extremely well to make a uniquely chaotic and surprisingly deep deathmatch. Everything about Fortnite's presentation emits a lighthearted nature. You start a match by jumping out of a party bus held up by balloons that flies across the massive map. Weapons, ammo, and health items litter the silly named cities, all using alliteration. Tomato Town, Moisty Mire, Tilted Towers, just to name a few. Even enemies don't really die, they're teleported after getting knocked out. But don't let that first impression fool you. The further you get into a match, the more you see how Fortnite's gameplay elements have to be used in clever and complex ways. Unique to Fortnite is a streamlined building system thanks to a snappy, elegant grid-based layout and the intuitive control scheme. Getting the hang of building isn't much of a hurdle. At first glance, it's as if the original Save the World mode had its mechanics haphazardly dropped into the 100-player last-person standing premise. But this is the foundation that makes for a myriad of tactical possibilities, like improvising a sky-high staircase to climb a mountain to get to higher ground, or swiftly creating your own cover as you run across an open field and close in on opponents. Literally, bridging the gap between mountains can turn long-range shootouts into close-quarter brawls. It's a dynamic system that always gives you an opportunity to improvise, even when you think your back is against the wall. For example, players will often protect themselves with structures that act as makeshift bunkers. To undercut that, you could put pressure on them by constructing your own path into their territory. In these moments, the intrinsically rewarding nature of Fortnite shines through. Conflict isn't just about landing a precise shot or spotting an enemy first. Quick wit and improvisation with a given toolset put you in a position to create your own path to success. Eliminations and victories feel very much earned, especially because the late game often consists of which player or squad has the best architectural acumen in the ever-changing safe zones. Approaches to combat also rely on the weapons you can scavenge. A typical arsenal made up of rifles, submachine guns, shotguns, and pistols have color-coded tiers to indicate varying levels of power and rarity. Each gun has a sensible use case, however, traps and explosives mix things up a bit. This is another aspect in which Fortnite diverges from many other Battle Royale games. Shooting is fast and loose, akin to an arena shooter. Mid-range firefights and close-quarters combat feel more like a fatal dance in and around the structures plopped into the environment. Fortnite isn't a tactical shooter in the traditional sense, but offers its own bevy of strategic options to keep players on their toes. Enemy engagement still carries the risk you'd expect from games of this ilk by nature of having one life to live per match and the relatively quick time to kill. Even after downing a chug jug for full shield, well-placed shots from a legendary or epic will make short work of anyone. However, the brisk pace at which matches move trades unnerving tension for a higher frequency of action. Yet, as with any Battle Royale game, looting for resources sits at the core of matches and eats up much of your time. The system in place for loot and resource gathering is efficient, but it grows tiresome after consecutive matches as swinging the pickaxe at trees and houses for necessary materials grows increasingly repetitive. Another area in which Fortnite is a bit thin is in its map design, a shortcoming that's twofold. The sprawling lone map features a variety of cute thematic areas, but there's a feeling that many of the map's landmarks lack sophistication in physical layouts and in density of loot placement. To its credit, the map's verticality brings out the best in your construction abilities, but city centers like Tomato Town have little to work with when two squads land in the area. A slightly more intricate town like Snobby Shores is sometimes devoid of useful items. It'd be easier to overlook this if you didn't have to trek across to a nearby town on foot that's likely to have already been looted, but such is the case. Now, in just about half a year, Epic proved it's supporting Fortnite continually with new content. Those who have been playing the game are aware of the limited time modes that put a slight twist on the standard mode. Snipers only and explosives only matches have added a neat touch, but past modes like 50v50 and teams of 20 do much more to change Fortnite's pace and open up new ways to play the game. If that's any indication, Fortnite could have plenty more to offer as it evolves further. This is a free-to-play game, so you should be aware that it heavily relies on microtransactions to sustain itself. A $10 battle pass opens up a slew of skins to earn and provides new goals to work towards. It's a reasonable system, and that these objectives reward you with cosmetic items that visibly pop within Fortnite's bright art style. There's nothing to infringe on how the game plays, thankfully. If you wish to engage in making your pickaxe look like a toy, or don seasonal outfits, or get the latest viral dance as an emote, you either have to put in the time to earn it or shell out money for the game's in-game currency called V-Bucks. While there are several parts in the game's ecosystem, Fortnite's biggest accomplishment is in how it seamlessly merges a number of simple mechanics to create a distinguishable Battle Royale game. What looks to be a straightforward building system steadily escalates to an elaborate display of tactical prowess. As the saying goes, it's easy to learn, hard to master. Although a few shortcomings in the map design eventually surface and fatigue and looting can set in, Fortnite rarely fails at challenging you in unexpected ways, resulting in something more than just another typical last-person standing shooter.